Hey everybody, welcome back to BigRedEDC. Well, as you guys know, Uncle Henry sent out a bunch of these knives here a while back, and I've kind of been using them, checking them out. Man, they sent a whole bunch of them. So to do reviews one at a time, not going to happen. There's just too many of them. So what I kind of decided to do was go through, and we're going to talk about the slip joints a little bit, and then we're going to talk about the fixed blades that they sent out. Now, all of these knives are what they call their next gen Staglon. And for those of you that may not know, and trust me, I am not an expert on this, but what Staglon is basically a man-made synthetic material, plastic, if you will, made to resemble basically sandbar stag or stag antler. That's what it is. And now there's some discussion as to is it Delrin? Is it the same synthetic makeup as Delrin? A lot of people thought it was Delrin, but maybe it's not. Delrin is that is a material, a DuPont product that Case uses quite often on their slip joints for sure. So, is it? I don't know. That's basically what it boils down to. Now, when somebody like Tobias or TK, they may have a little bit better information on that, but I couldn't find anything definite that says yes, it is, or no, it's not. And I don't have a molecular, you know what I mean, to check to see. I just don't. So I don't have that perfect answer for you. But what Uncle Henry has done is kind of redesigned this Staglon, and hence we have the next generation Staglon to make it look a little bit more realistic, I guess is the way to put it. And they sent out pretty much dang near the whole next gen Staglon line for us to check out, which is very, very cool. Now, as you can see here, we've got several of the traditional slip joints in front of us, and they range from, something like this guy. I mean, you're looking at what, about not quite 3 inches, maybe 2 3/4. It's got a little clip point on it. Nice little nail nick there. Little 3-bladed pattern. There you got your little pen. And then, of course, you got your little sheepy foot there. Very, very cool little knife. Now, this plastic, and I was looking at it, and I tried to look these over really, really well. And there was one, are these top of the line knives? No, but I'll explain what I mean by no and what I do think they are perfect for. Now, these guys right here, all these range anywhere from $10 to $20. They all have, like I said, the next gen Staglon. Most of them have brass liners. As you can see there might be a little bit of gap in your liners. Now, one of these you can see, now this one on the where it was pinned, it does have a little bit of a crack there where it was pinned. You do have some minor gapping. We see that on knives in this price range. Your Rough Riders and that type, they're not all perfect. And, for $10, $12, I don't expect them to be perfect. I really don't. That's just me. But these knives range anywhere from 10 to 20 bucks. And that is a great knife for a budget. If you're on a budget, yes, 7CR17, probably not the most best steel out there. Then again, 440A isn't either. But for what you're paying for these knives, it's not that bad. It's pretty darn good in a lot of cases, and it's going to be really good, in my opinion, when it comes to what you get with these fixed blades. But in these, even with these slip joints. Now, did I say they're top of the line knives? No, they're not, because I don't think Rough Riders are top of the line knives. They're not. They're excellent little knives on a budget. But where I think these come in really, really well, and I'll kind of show you these as I talk about it, is these make great knives for a budget. As I said, I love that blade on that canoe. Look at that blade. Love it. Love that spear point. These would make really, really good first knives. Again, another nice looking spear point. Look at that dual spear point, man. Oh, that looks nice. This is more of a little pen, but got a spear point there, drop point, a pen. Oh, man, great, great first knives. And what do I mean by great first knives? Well, you know, growing up, you know, I mean, and trust me, times have changed. I get it. You know, I used to go into my favorite variety store and hardware store at 15 and buy ammunition for my 22. You can't do that anymore. You know, yeah, I get it. Times have changed. But when I'm talking about good first knives, is that young boy, girl, doesn't matter. You know, in that Boy Scout range, Cub Scout range, a lot of their badges require them to have a knife. You know, obviously there's Boy Scout knives and stuff like that. But in that age range, learning how to fish, you need a knife to clip line. I mean, you use nail clippers, I guess, but hey, we're knife guys, right? We use knives. But perfect first knives for that youngster that's just kind of learning some responsibility, learning how to sharpen, maybe. Because, yes, the 7CR17, is it going to hold an edge for a long time? No, it's not. It's not going to hold an edge for a long time. And I will tell you, most of these that I got in here, they all required a pretty decent sharpening. Or not sharpening, I'm sorry, stropping. That's what I meant. Sorry about that. You know, they had a workable edge, but they needed some stropping. And that was mainly for the slip joints. The fixed blades came a little bit better, actually. Now, and you see in there, sometimes you do have, you know, these bolsters might have a little bit of discoloration on them. You know, definitely not something you would expect to see in your upper, you know, higher class, if you will, of knives. But you guys remember, I mean, you take a look at that. Is there, yeah, there's a tiny bit of gapping there. Okay, sure. But you guys remember the case rust lock I got, right? If you haven't, go check out that playlist. It's a playlist all about my rust lock adventures with cases, warranty, and all that. This knife, even after case's warranty on that rust lock, this knife is about 20 times better than what that case looks like. And that case costs, I think that one costs 70 or 80 bucks. And this little guy at whatever it is, 15, 18, yeah, it's got it beat for fit and finish all day long. You know, even with those little minor gapping on it. So that's kind of how I see these Uncle Henry. And it was really funny because when I first started talking to Uncle Henry, I was like, hey, obviously a Schrade product. But I'm like, hey, do you have anything that would fit the bargain bin, right? And they were like, no, we don't quite. I think this one is the least expensive, and it's like 12 bucks. I think this is the least one. And you can see this one's a little bit lighter than the rest of them. The rest of them are kind of darker. This one's kind of lightened up a little bit. Not while I had it. It came like that. But it's just a little bit lighter. And there's some, now with this Staglon and stuff, there's going to be some rough spots on it. I found one spot on actually one of the fixed blades that I probably would end up hitting with a little bit of emery cloth or something like that. You know, there you go. I don't know if that pin, yeah, that pin's, yeah, it looks like it stands out just because of the jigging on the Staglon there, but it's kind of a little bit deformed. But there again, you know, it's a $12 knife. That's kind of where I see these at. And you guys know me, I can get just as excited for a knife like these as I can for a $200-$300 knife. I can't. Why? Because I like them. They all have their purpose. They all have their reason for being. And, you know, learning how to sharpen, that would be a great position for one of these. Even, you know, someone like me learning how to freehand sharpen. I suck at it. I do. I really do. You know, but a knife like this, you know, you get a Rough Rider, an Uncle Henry, something like that, one that costs you 10, 15 bucks, yes, it's going to be easy to sharpen because of the quality of steel. Usually, obviously, you know, your lower end steels are easy to sharpen. They don't hold an edge as well, but you can learn, and it's easier to learn. I've always been one that, yeah, I get a little frustrated when I don't learn as quickly as I think I should. So, it happens. It happens. I know there's somebody else out there. You can tell me in the comments if you want to. But that's where I think these are just absolutely perfect for that aspect. The new knife user, getting into it. And there again, like I always say with the Rough Riders, then you can check out the patterns. Like, okay, let's get this little canoe. Man, okay, do I like the canoe pattern? Do I like the double blade? Do I like single bladed? What? Perfect for that aspect. And I'll keep saying that over and over and over. They all have a reason. They all have a purpose, and I have fun with them. Now I'm gonna move those out of the way, and we're gonna take a look at some of these fixed blades. Now I'm gonna kind of show these maybe one at a time or two at a time because, well, they just kind of take up the screen. But here you go. These are the next gen Staglon again. That's what all of these are. But man, now these fixed blades, these guys run anywhere from $18 to $31. So again, good knives on a budget. Yes, they're all the 7CR17 steel. But man, these sheaths are nice, and they sure smell like leather. Unless, if it's not leather, they put a darn good fake leather smell on it because they smell like leather. They feel like leather. Yeah. If it's fake leather, it's really good fake leather. But look at this. Look at this Skinner here. Now, this knife, you're looking at, golly, what are we looking at here? We're looking at 8.5 inches overall. And I can't remember the price on this one exactly. Like I said, they range anywhere from $18 to like $31, $32. And I'll tell you what, most of these prices came from Knife Center because that's where I found all of them. So they're, you can find them on Amazon. You can find them on pretty much most of your major retailers. That just happened to be where I got the prices on these. Again, 7CR17 steel. I mean, you're looking at this is what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, a little more than about 4 1/4. 4 1/4 on that. Great feeling knife. Again, you've got that Staglon full tang construction. Again, you might have a little bit of gapping on these brass pins. This one obviously comes with a lanyard. I haven't even done a whole lot. I didn't carry it really. I used it a little bit. And like I said, these edges came a little better than what the slip joints did. They still needed a good stropping, and one of them probably could actually, I think it had a spot on it where I actually did kind of touch it up on I put it on a ceramic rod, and that pretty much took care of it. But most of these knives, again, great way to learn how to sharpen. This one, it doesn't really have a recurve on it. It kind of looks like it does. If it does, it's really slight. But again, good knives to learn how to sharpen on. I mean, you got this one, all of these. If you guys remember from the unboxing, look at these sheaths. They fit well. The knives fit well in the sheaths. I mean, they're going to be a little bit loose, but overall, they've got a pretty good, I mean, retention. Yeah. I mean, this is a little loose, but man, that thing is pretty snug in that sheath. Look at that. That is a nice, even if this was a $32 knife, to me, this knife is worth every bit of $32. It really is. Just because of the value that I see in it and what someone could potentially learn from this knife. Sharpening, a first, care and use. Now, this is 7CR, so it's going to be stainless steel. I mean, we're not worried about you know, like high carbon steels and it rusting if it sits in the sheath, you know, not really worried about that type of thing, but just care and responsibility for, again, that young user. This is I really like the feel of this knife. And this isn't the one, and that isn't the one. We'll get to, oh, I think it's the next one that I'm going to talk about. But again, great first knives. And I was just so blown away when Uncle Henry said, hey, we'll send you a couple of knives. Okay. Yeah, what, 10, 12, however many they sent? My goodness. Now, this is one, again, that great sheath. This is one that down here, there you go, you can kind of see it. That kind of protrudes a little bit. It's just how the jigging ended up. So I would probably sand this down. Take an emery cloth or take a little bit of, you know, your Dremel and just kind of Dremel that down a little bit. But again, there's no cracks on this that I saw. It's done very well. Again, brass pins, full tang. I like all of these knives. They feel so good in hand. Just great little knives. And the other thing was, I did polish up the bolsters on some of these, because if you can tell, they had some schmutz on them, and I didn't get them all polished up too well. And when I say polish, I mean just rubbing with a cloth, you know, yeah. You take some actual flits or something to it like that, knife shield, clean it up real well. You know, but you can definitely, now see, you can kind of see the pin in there. So, you know, some of that stuff you won't see on your higher grade knives. You'll see on these. Understandable, okay? Absolutely. It is what it is. Now, one of these, I think it might be this one. I love this sheath. This is my favorite style of leather sheath. Absolutely, 100% that, what do you want to call it, 2/3 with the loop over. My favorite style of sheath. You got a big rivet there on the bottom. This little, oh, that's a cool little skinner, man. Just a cool little skinner. Most of these handles, though, have had the attention paid to them. Like I said, that's a good thick chunk of Staglon right there. Goodness gracious. Fills the hand really well. Forward finger choil. Nice skinner style blade. Absolutely. But construction-wise, and I think this guy was only like, I think this one might have been 19 bucks. Come on. What you get? Okay, I understand it's 17 CR seal. I got it. 7 CR 17, excuse me. Sure smells real. How can this knife not be worth it? 19 bucks. Absolutely, all day, every day, twice on Sunday. Absolutely, 100%. Again, great first knife, first responsibility type knife, or knife on a budget. Absolutely, 100%. This is a fun one, man. You can get a really cool grip on that. Oh, yeah. Now, you got a lanyard hole on this one. And again, the Staglon is done pretty well. There was only that one that I found that had a crack where it had gotten pinned. Okay, yeah, it's going to happen sometimes. QC, sure, should have been caught. Probably. Am I mad about it? Not really. I'm okay. I'll live. But, yeah, overall, just really awesome knives. And I tell you what, I cannot be more thankful to Uncle Henry for sending these out and really giving us an opportunity to check out the new Staglon. Now, the bad thing is I don't have any of the old Stag to compare it to. Apologize for that. You know what? I bet you if you want to see some Staglon, go check out Tobias. Knife Chats with Tobias Gibson. I bet he's got plenty of Staglon on his channel. Absolutely, 100%. But really, let me know what you think, guys. What are your opinion on these? What are your opinion on these Uncle Henry knives? Do you have any experience with Uncle Henry knives? I would love to hear if you do. Guys, thank you so much for sitting here for a while. It's almost 20 minutes. I'm going to get out of here. Really appreciate you listening to my thoughts on this new next-gen Staglon and Uncle Henry knives in general. Really appreciate it. Guys, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so very much. Remember, like, subscribe, leave me that comment. You know I love talking to you. Until next time, guys. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.